Hello, listeners. This is Kat, and welcome back to Put Your Hands Up Podfics. This will be the continuation of Little Acts of Kindness. This will be Part 82, Chapter 82. Things at the Hero Agency were tense. Nothing had happened in hours, and they were just waiting for the villains to make their first mistake. Hitoshi had organized the patrols, and right now, there were only a handful of people out. She was keeping most of them in the agency, so they could respond faster whenever the other team did something. There had been a small bit of drama, mostly when they first arrived and saw her. Really, Hitoshi had forgotten that her classmates hadn't yet been informed that she was gender fluid. Not that Hitoshi had even realized that she was, until she talked about it with Kayama-sensei. All she had known was that sometimes she felt more comfortable being feminine, and other times she felt more comfortable being masculine. Kayama-sensei had been a big help, and even took her shopping. Anyways, it had been interesting explaining to the others. She had been a bit nervous, but went through it with her normal attitude. Surprisingly, they had been chill about it, and even if someone wasn't cool with it, they didn't say anything. Though Hitoshi had been surprised when Todoroki asked her some questions, confused. Apparently, the dual-haired colored boy had never heard that someone could be anything other than what you were born as. Really, her friend was clueless on a lot of things, but she didn't mind explaining to him and helping him to be a normal teenager. So Hitoshi had explained that some people preferred different genders or even not having a gender role, that some people liked the same sex, some liked both, and others didn't like people romantically and or sexually. It kept her busy while they waited for something to happen. Just what was the other team up to? Shinso had Jiro check in with the teams. She talked into the headsets Yaoyorozu had created. "Have you found anything, Kendo?" "All right, keep..." Jiro's eyes widened, earjacks twitching. "Watch out!" Yaoyorozu collapsed onto the ground, a small needle appearing out of nowhere and sticking out of her neck. Jiro's earjacks stretched, wrapping around something invisible. Hagakure. Shiozaki quickly used her vines, trapping the invisible girl. Who laughed. It was cold and chilling. "Oh, heroes, I am so pleased to meet you. Our leader sends his regards," she said, voice bright and cheerful, and a bit unhinged. Something clattered onto the ground. A flash drive. Hitoshi looked at her. "Why are you here?" "Me?" Hagakure said, vines shifting a bit as she seemed to relax, though it was hard to tell considering she was invisible. "I'm just a messenger." Sue picked up the flash drive, holding it up. "This is the message, Kero." "That's right. Our leader wanted to personally say thanks." Hitoshi felt a chill go down her spine. "Say thanks? For what?" "Watch and find out," Hagakure taunted, giving a maddening giggle. Hitoshi frowned, glancing at Shiozaki. "Put her in the cell. We'll talk to her after we watch the message." Shiozaki nodded, and then started to move Hagakure away. The invisible girl laughed again. "Thank you for your hospitality." "Poison. Yaoyorozu was only paralyzed, but for this exercise any poison counts as lethal. She's dead," Kendo said, moving over to Yaoyorozu. Then she was gone, and the heroes were connecting the laptop to the agency's TV so they could all easily view the message. "Is everyone ready?" Hitoshi asked, plugging it in and hovering over the single file. "Let's find out who this fucker is," Bakugo said, grinning. "It doesn't seem smart, revealing who the leader is. I mean, they are aware we win if we take out their leader, right?" Uraraka said, frowning. "Maybe the leader is cocky?" Hananuki questioned. "Or it's a decoy, someone to trick us into thinking they're the leader," Ida pointed out, giving one of his robotic hand gestures. "Just play it already," Bakugo grumbled. Hitoshi clicked on the file. Immediately, they were faced with the face of Midoriya. A buffering symbol gave them all a bit of time to think. Hitoshi found herself relaxing a bit. If Midoriya was the one making the video, then it couldn't be too bad. "That's the shy kid in your class, right?" Kuroro questioned. "Poor boy, being in the leader position." Bakugo scoffed. "Don't underestimate the damn nerd. He'll have some sort of plan, even if this video will be more funny than scary." Then the video started. Midoriya's expression, which had been frozen on a small smile, animated. The smile stayed, and he said in a soft voice, "Hello, heroes. I do have to apologize if Hagakure was a bit enthusiastic in delivering her message. She was just so excited. But what can you do?" He gave a slight shrug. his smile remaining friendly. But it was the way he spoke that caused Hitoshi's eyes to widen, to stare at the screen in shock, because that did not sound like Midoriya at all. There were no stutters, there was no shifting gaze, no apologetic looks. "What the hell?" Bakugo muttered. "You have to understand, though, Creati was just too much of a threat. She has such a powerful quirk, don't you think? A quirk that's perfect for heroics," Midoriya said, his smile turning pensive. "But then again, such a quirk would also be perfect for villainy," Midoriya said, shaking his head a bit. "It's a shame. I would have loved having her on my team." "Wait, Deku's hair is different," Uraraka pointed out. "You are right. There is a streak of yellow," Tokiyami agreed, giving a nod. Midoriya gave a hum. "I suppose you want me to get on with my point." "That would be nice," Jiro deadpanned. Midoriya stopped smiling. "You heroes, you think that just because you have flashy, amazing quirks and stop a few petty criminals that you're helping our society," the green-eyed boy scoffed, shaking his head. "It's because of you that our society is stagnant, slowly crumbling apart. You should have done a better job, should have helped, but you didn't." "Help with what?" Shota questioned quietly. Green eyes slid shut, and the boy gave a sigh, opening them, and he looked tired. "Society judges people on their quirks. Those with weak or villainous quirks are treated poorly, treated as if they won't amount to anything in their lives. And those without a quirk—" A chilling smile appeared. "They're told to kill themselves." Bakugo choked, staring at the screen with wide red eyes, looking as if he had seen a ghost. "Oh, Kachan," Midoriya sing-songed. "You didn't think I would forget, did you?" Hitoshi looked at Bakugo, who was making strangled sounds. "Are you okay?" she questioned. Bakugo did not respond. "I remember when we were kids, you promised to be my best friend forever, but as soon as I was diagnosed as quirkless, that changed. Don't worry, I don't blame you. Well, maybe I blame you a bit, but you were just a product of society. You were told you had a perfect quirk, a strong quirk, that you would obviously be a hero in the future. You were raised to believe that it was okay to hurt those with weaker quirks, after all." Midoriya gave a brief pause. "Explosion is such a good quirk." Head snapped to Bakugo, looking at him in shock. "You told Midoriya to kill himself?" Todoroki questioned, fist clenching as he narrowed his eyes. There was a growling sound from around them, dark shadow audible, but not visible. Bakugo refused to say anything. "Oh, heroes, did that news shock you, that one of your own esteemed members is nothing more than a bully? Do you really think he's the only one, though? You see, I remember sitting in class and hearing a hero student insult another. Oh, what were the words?" Midoriya seemed to tap his chin in thought, before his smile widened, and he snapped his fingers. "That's right. And a lot of those sidekicks never managed to go solo. They're sidekicks forever. That'll be you, Kaminari, you dunce." Hitoshi frowned, even as he saw some of the Class 1A students look towards Jiro. "But that's not all. When Ectoplasm insulted Kaminari, she snorted, smirking at him, finding amusement at how Denki was treated. Is this how a future hero should treat a classmate, calling him dunce, insulting him, downplaying his abilities?" There was pain in Midoriya's green eyes. "Do you even know how much your words hurt him? Because I think you do. You do, and you don't care." Hitoshi glanced at Jiro, who looked uncomfortable, as some of them glared at her. Midoriya sighed. "I'm getting off topic, I apologize. I'm simply telling you that society is flawed. Those with heroic quirks are praised and treated as perfect, while those with villainous or weak quirks are treated as second-hand. Those with mutation quirks are treated as less than human. I seek to change our society. I want people to realize that quirks don't matter. It's the person that does. You see, I've had quite a lot to think about, and I realize that I don't want to be a part of a system that encourages children to be bullies. I don't want to be part of a system that says it's okay to encourage kids to die if they have a quirk deemed unacceptable to society. I wanted to thank you for helping me realize this. I will bring about a change in our society." "So," Midoriya clapped, a wide, toothy grin on his face, startling the hero team as they had their eyes on the screen. "I hope you're ready, because—" Midoriya's smile dropped, and he narrowed his eyes, glaring at them. "I am going to destroy you." The room became completely still, no movement or sounds as everyone stared at the screen with wide eyes. Then Midoriya laughed, giving a wide smile. "But not before I have a little bit of fun. Oh, heroes, welcome to the worst 3 days of your life." "Fumikage, I'm scared," Dark Shadow whispered, appearing only to hide behind the bird-headed boy. The screen faded to black, a green smiley face appearing on the screen. "Why are you still watching this video?" Midoriya's voice came from the video, though the screen remained on that eerie smile. "You would think heroes like you would be trying to stop us villains. You see, while you're busy watching this message, we're killing the Hero Commission president." Silence, and then it was a mad scrabble as the group of hero students realized that the video had been a distraction. The teachers were sitting in an observation room, keeping an eye on the events of the Civil War. Apparently Nezu had a few blind spots in his camera network, because no matter which camera they checked, they could find no sign of the villain team's hideout, which had made the principal rub his hands together in excitement. So when Yaoyorozu collapsed and Hagakure was captured, they were just as surprised as the hero students. "Damn, Hagakure has some good acting skills," Hizashi whistled, impressed. Shota gave a grunt of acknowledgement. Then she revealed that she was delivering a message from Midoriya. The teachers all leaned forward in interest, Nezu hacking into the computer so they could get the video playing in front of them, instead of having to watch it through the camera that was aimed at the TV. And then Midoriya spoke, and the teachers were shocked. Shota included, because Midoriya wasn't stuttering. His message was clear, and Shota could see that Midoriya believed in his words. The kid truly wanted to bring change to their society. And then the kid tells the rest of the students about what Bakugo did to him, and Shota realized it was a calculated move. It wasn't just getting it off his chest, it was being used to sow the seeds of discord through the hero team. But not only did he talk about Bakugo, but Midoriya mentioned that Jiro had been bullying Kaminari. It was something a villain really would do. They would use information they had in order to cause infighting amongst heroes. Nezu chuckled. "Take a look," he said, gesturing a paw towards a screen where a good chunk of the villain students could be seen moving, heading in the direction of the fake hero commission. Midoriya was in the lead, Kaminari a half-step behind him on his right, and Nato a half-step behind him on his left. Their attention turned back to the video Midoriya had left the hero team as he spoke, his voice cold. "I am going to destroy you." Hizashi let out a low whistle. "Damn, am I glad that the little listener is on our side." Then Shota saw the kid give a wide, toothy grin that was very similar to Shota's own grins. He felt his heart warm, and he gave a crooked smirk, proud of the kid as he saw the terrified looks on the students. Hizashi snickered. "He really does take after you, Sho." And then the teachers fell silent as a cold, villainous laughter rang out. Shota couldn't stop his instinctual reaction of tensing and looking for the threat before realizing that it had come from the speakers, that the laugh had come from Midoriya. "But not before I have a little bit of fun. Oh, heroes, welcome to the worst 3 days of your life." And then the screen faded to black, leaving behind a green smiley face that felt threatening, despite it being a happy gesture. Nezu clapped his hands. "Midoriya-kun certainly gets full points for his acting skills. Why, if I didn't know any better, I would think he was a real villain." Nezu didn't even have the decency to look horrified by that prospect, instead looking gleeful. And just as the villain group arrived at the Hero Commission building and started to attack, taking out the guards, the video of Midoriya's voice played, taunting the heroes about distracting them. "Well, damn, what have you been teaching your kid?" Namuri said. "That wasn't me," Shota denied. Yagi coughed. "Well, you did help. He thinks about you and everyone else who believes in him to speak so confidently." Heads turned to Yagi. "You knew about this?" "A bit. I didn't know exactly what he had planned, just that he had some sort of message. He worked on it with his grandfather." Shota blinked. "His grandfather," he repeated, unsure if Midoriya had mentioned his grandfather before. "Yes, Shimura Yuichi." A choking noise filled the room as Hizashi did a spit take. "What?" he screamed at normal volume thanks to Shota's quick action of using erasure, despite being shocked himself. Yagi snorted. That was pretty much my reaction, though that's because Midoriya's aunt was my mentor. Shota raised his hands, rubbing at his temples. No. Just no. We will talk about this later, he said, forestalling the conversation as he gestured towards the screen. We need to focus on the students. Yagi just gave a nod, falling silent as his blue eyes glanced at the screen that still showed the green smile. And Shota was fairly sure he saw a hint of apprehension on the man's face, a slight tremble to his hand that he tried to hide. All right, listeners, this concludes Chapter 82 of Little Acts of Kindness. Chapter 83 will be up next. Let me know what you're thinking of everything so far in the comments below. I'm just a sucker for these Civil War fics, and I really like the fact that Jiro's getting called out for her behavior, not just Bakugo. So drop those comments below, and as always, thank you all so much for listening.